Hi guys, today I am harvesting yucca or cassava with my sister Cindy and her husband Eddie, and we had such a fun time.
So each of these big roots, you just give it a little wash. You basically peel it like this, and that inner soft, this portion is absolutely lovely. So it's just fantastic. So this will all be harvested. Each of these is a root. What you do is you cut this part into 6-inch pieces. See that little node? You want to have like 4 or 5 nodes. So here's a node, here's a node, here's a node, here's a node, here's a node. They're like 4 or 5 is about this far. You're gonna cut these into pieces. So you're gonna cut this, and I'm just gonna bury this right back in these spots. And then I'm gonna bury this. This is enough to bury for about probably 20 plants, just this one, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a plant. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this, you're gonna pretty much just break off, and this is your harvest, yucca. And it's delicious. It tastes just like a potato, only more soft. Because you eat the whole root, and what you're planting are just these sticks, you're not wasting your, like you can plant like 30 plants from one yucca. See if you can pull it up. And you cannot plant yucca. It won't come up from a root. You have to have a stick. So find somebody with some yucca growing in their yard and ask them for a stick, and then just plant it. I've given these away to so many people that come on my garden tours, and they love it.
Okay. Are you going to be right back in these holes?
I'm going to shove yucca in this whole area.
Shall I dig around first?
Yeah. Now while Cindy digs around to see if there's more in there, I'm going to dig up these other two. And I started with one yucca that I harvested. Then I planted, because I harvested it when it was still pretty small. I started like about maybe a year ago. And then I planted 4 plants right here, not realizing I should have planted all of them. But I gave a lot of the sticks to my neighbor, and we planted some in my POA. So now it's time. I'm just planting all of these along my lakefront on the other side of the bananas, because they don't grow that tall. And now that I know the bunnies love to eat yucca, it's a total no-brainer to constantly give them yucca leaves, yucca sticks. So this is also known as cassava, and it is gluten-free, which is why my sister Cindy and her 2 daughters, who are celiac disease peeps, they're ecstatic to be able to eat this, because their husband, Ebenezer, who is an amazing chef, he can turn this into flour and cook them some cakes out of it, or banana bread. Yucca banana bread would be delicious.
This one was much more difficult to get out because it was so close to the fence. So I really strongly recommend, if you're going to plant this along a fence line, that you plant it at least 3 to 4 feet away from the fence line. Cindy and I spent about, 20 minutes trying to get this one out. Cindy finally had to walk over to the other side of the fence because half of the roots were under the fence in the other side of the yard. Luckily, I own a foot on the other side of my fence, so it wasn't a problem. But if you have neighbors that don't want you going into their yard to dig something up, it would not be a very convenient situation. After we did this, we ended up probably getting 50 pounds of yucca, so it was really exciting to have that much harvested. And that includes the weight of the sticks, because that's actually bunny food for me.
All right, guys, so here comes the harvest. Woo. Look at those. That is a lot of calories. Are the preppers among us? Preppers? What is nice about yucca is a lot of people have no idea what it is. So what you can do is you can plant this all over the place, not just in your yard. Plant it if you know of a park or a field or wherever. And it's a pretty plant. And then when it comes time to harvest, you just go get yourself some yucca. This is like a potato. It has about the calories of a potato, only healthier, and it's organic. So, and it's gluten-free. So you can make flour out of yucca. Cassava flour is yucca flour. It's the same thing. You can make flour out of it. If you've ever gone to a Spanish restaurant, they always, or a Cuban restaurant, they will serve, or even a Puerto Rican restaurant, they'll serve like pork and yucca. You can choose that, and it looks like a white soft potato, and it's just delicious. It basically will soak up so much goodness. Like if you put it in the chicken or the pork juice and just let it soak all of that up, it is fabulous to eat. But look at all these. This is all root also. All of these. This is all yucca. These are all, everything from here down is edible. Right here, all delicious. Fantastic. It's, you know, think of it as you can cook it like a yam, but you don't have to cook it like a yam. You can cook it in so many different ways. You can make yucca bread even. Lots of recipes online, folks. So now I have to get busy with my loppers making new plants out of these, because I'm just going to plant pretty much a field of it right in here, but also all along my lakeside, because there's a lot of space down there and it's just so close to the water line, and this plant seems to love that. Well, thanks so much, guys, for coming with me on this journey of hanging with my sister Cindy and her husband Ebby and the girls, where we played with our plants and harvested a bunch of stuff.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps her with her algorithm so more people can watch.
Thanks, guys. Okay, now I have to go get my loppers. So now what I have to do is break these into multiple pieces, and here's how I do it. I take a saw. What I'm harvesting, yes, this is probably a saw for not the right. Move it, chicken. This little chicken always wants to get in the way. No, Mama, you are not allowed to get there, Mama. This naughty girl wants to be on camera, so she has to get out of the way or she's going to get hurt. No, Mama. Oh, you do not jump. That's a no-no. See, she wants to dig.
She wants to taste that yucca.
Excuse me, Mama. No, Mama. So you can take and cut off the various yucca parts. The roots. This is really tall. Okay, so now this I will actually bury and see if it will grow anything back. Okay, move, Mama. Move, Mama. Move, Mama. She's fussing at me. I'm using my man hands for this operation. No, Mama. No, Mama. No. Oh, she's eating the yucca. Oh no. Cindy, they're eating your harvest. No, Mama. She's like, hell,
Are you
this
sure
is
about
mine.
that? This looks good.
She's like, oh no, you are not giving it to her.
I fertilized this one myself.
Now this is a big enough one. We really need to saw it. No, Mama. Thank you. And this is not the kind of saw that you normally would want to use, but it's the only saw I seem to know where it is. Okay, so now I have to cut. Can you give me my here they are. This is old. I had to protect these because my chickens kept digging them up, because that's the way they like to roll. No, Mama. No, Mama. Get it, girl. And this we can throw in the garbage. On video. You might need it still or something. This is so dangerous for chickens' eyes. I don't use that old shit. No, Mama, no. Oh, she is getting all kinds of stuff here. Oh, these are each gonna grow a plant. Like,
Each one of those?
yeah.
And it doesn't matter how you throw it in?
Nope. This is how I do it. Oh, I know which one's the high side.
How do you know?
Okay, guys, so on the high side, the side that's the top, the bud is going to be, there's going to be a stick, and that used to be a leaf. And the bud is going to be on the top. So you know you planted this deep. Your leaves will come out here, roots will come out there.
And what if you planted it the other way?
If you planted it the other way, it won't work.
Okay, let me see this
I don't
one more time.
believe.
So it's going to go in this way.
I don't want the chickens to...
She's coming to help.
Chickens make it tricky. If I don't do this, they'll go right under that fence potentially. Okay. Now, you take the high side, this little tiny nub is on the high side. In other words, the side that's going to be closer to the sky. And you literally, you go like that. That will be a little puff of leaves in like maybe 2 weeks. And the root will start growing.
Show me on this one more time what nub you mean.
Okay, so on this one, kind of have to look closely. That's the nub. See how there's a little tiny indentation right there? You can see
this indentation
right there.
Right
it's not
here.
on the other side. There's nothing on the other side. There's a little indentation on this side.
I see it, yeah.
On this side, on this side.
Okay.
I mean, you can see them. So I have one there.
And the indentation faces up.
Indentation is up toward the sky.
Gotcha.
Literally, you can have it go at an angle. So here's a great example. Do you see how it even has leaves about to pop out?
Just zoom in on that. Yes. Yes, I see.
So
it now.
I'm going to plant this right. I don't want to have it so close to the fence again. It was so much work to try to get them out. So.
Oh,
look,
here she comes to help
she's going to help me dig.
dig them up.
That's why I had to put something around that. Because this little mama likes to help. These little ladies are helpers, aren't you, Mama? They are such good helpers. So I'm getting some more of these. So this will give me 1, 2, 3. Here's another one. 4. No, Mama. No fussing. I think I'll do I think 4 is good right here. And I'll
Okay.
put some over here too. I know.
Does yucca grow in cool weather also, I wonder?
You know, I'm not sure.
I'm going to have to look it up. I might take some home.
Oh, Cindy, that would be amazing. Whew. So let's plant this one. And then the rest I'm going to plant down by my lakeside because I have so much space down there.
Right. And it can take the damp feet.
Yeah.
All right.
It's cool with damp feet. The chickens love a hole. Anytime they can dig in a hole, they're happy girls. So this is six plants. Some of these were from... Now, this is the best part about this. So rabbits love to chew on this. The dead branches, the greenery. I'm going to plant this, but I'm going to give this to my rabbits
Very nice.
to help them keep their teeth in check.
Yucca does best in warm weather climate.
Now this is the root, but I'm just going to plant this back in the ground. I think it'll grow amazingly. So it's already got greenery, little leaves shooting out all over it. See the leaves, Cindy?
I do.
So I'm just going to plant that in that hole the chicken's in.
Okay. What did you
And the
use to
other
cut
one.
that with? The lopper?
I did. I just cut the tops.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. All the ones that I'm going to plant, I'm just going to put right there. Now these, to get them prepared to grow, just going to do this.
Cassava does grow best in zones 8 through 11. It definitely likes a lot of nutrients like chicken poop it loves. You can actually grow cassava from a root, not just the sticks, but not a root from the grocery store if it's been waxed or if it's not organic. It's best if you've got an organic root. That works fine in addition to this.
I've cut it up into pretty much 3 groupings. I've got the stuff that I'm going to feed my rabbits. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I've got the stuff that I'm going to feed my rabbits, and I've got the stuff that we're going to eat, and I've got the things that we're going to plant. So these monsters are going to just get planted back in the ground. These big fat ones like this are going to go in the ground also. These big roots, those will go in the ground. But these little sticks up here, I don't think these would grow in the ground, but I know that the bunnies love them. So the fact that I can have a plant that is bunny food, and you know, bunnies, they turn food into amazing fertilizer. They eat food my other chickens will not eat. My little mamas, they won't eat that. They might eat the yucca. They're smart. Is she already done? Okay, so let me show you my yucca harvest, Cindy. This is the yucca harvest. How many pounds of yucca would you say that is, Cindy?
I don't know.
They're
but
pretty
that's-
heavy.
That's
I mean,
quite a few meals.
look, I would say this thing weighs 3
Yeah,
pounds.
that would feed a family of 4.
Yeah, that's a meal. This, and look how many meals there are. So Cindy's excited.
It is delicious.
Ain't ya?
Yes.
We've got some work we have to do now. Cindy, we've got to get all this planted. But the lucky thing is it's simple to plant it. Should we plant it right here? Although it grows so tall. All we do is we just pick these up and we throw them in. See? Go like that. Abby, Cindy thinks you should cook some yucca tonight. So my sister does like to use a dull knife when she does all this kind of stuff because she feels like it's more cathartic that way. It's more relaxing to her. It's almost like she's making herself work harder to make herself feel good. Okay, so now, Abby, we're gonna take the little sticks and bring them in to the chickens. I mean, to the bunnies. All right, so now we're gonna plant the rest of this yucca out here along the waterfront. This time I'm gonna tell the guy who mows my yard to not weed whack it down, because that's what he did last time. Look at all this space out here. So my yard goes all the way to that white piece of cement, and then all the way over to past my bananas. It's a pretty big, this is a large area of space that is unused.
So I didn't want to plant the yucca anywhere in the center of my yard because they do grow really big as bushes. They grow about 8 feet tall. So I didn't want them blocking my view, but also more importantly, I didn't want them blocking my sprinkler system. So the way I managed to do this is we decided to plant them out lakeside. I have sprinklers that can spray them, but really I don't even think I need to do that. I think they'll grow just fine with the water because of the water that can wick up from the lake. It's somewhat damp there. It's not at risk of getting dug up by the chickens, and I'll tell my yard guys that do the mowing not to touch that area. We did 3 rows of yucca, 18 yuccas long. It's not going to block my view there at all because I have a shed there. And I don't mind looking at something pretty and green. And then right over the top of that, you can still see the lake. So that's a pretty good solution for me. We were able to get 56 plants into this small area that was totally unused. I'll keep an eye on them closely just to make sure that they don't need to be watered specifically. And I'm sure I'll bring out some chicken poop from the chicken coop so that they can have a little extra fertilizer.
So we planted 3 rows all along this, and now, because this doesn't block my view.
Now they're gonna come and
My
they're
yard
gonna-
guys, I'll explain very quickly, do not mess up my yucca. They're coming on Monday, and they only come once a month. So by the time they come back, there will be plants here that'll be a foot tall.
Can we put any banana bushes in between them or anything, or no?
Now, we don't need to do that. These
Okay.
like full sun, and they get, total full sun right here.
Okay.
What we ought to do, I don't want to block my bananas with the yucca. The yuccas are only, they're somewhat short.
Are bananas full sun? They want
Yes,
it all.
if you want to have a rack, you got a bunch, you have to have full sun.
And that gets shade there, but that's okay. Not enough.
It barely gets shade.
Got it.
It's in the sun all day.
Okay.
So I think we could plant some yucca like around that far end, but like far enough so that the plant doesn't block the bananas. So this area I have planted out extensively in clover, but it was just majorly, we had a total freeze. So this is a huge area. So this is my property line. So it goes all the way until 5 feet to the next dock. So I have you can see where my fence line is. It's a huge amount right out here that is unused, and it has water so easily. So look at how I planted this whole area out in clover, hairy vetch. It's a 13 seed mixture that I buy. And look at the little mamas. They are such happy girls. All right, so now we're done. Time to go in and have a big thing of Paris tea because I am tired. I'm pretty exhausted. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye. So it's been 3 weeks since my sister was here making that video about the yucca, maybe even a little longer than that. So I wanted to show you where some of these yucca are, see how they're doing. I have to find them. Here they are. So look at that. That's a little baby yucca. This is the stick. I'm gonna dig it up even. Oh, I hate to do that. I don't want to kill it. Oh, it's got roots and everything growing, but you can see, well, I'm gonna just pull it up so you can see what it looks like. No, mama. No, Mama. So here's that yucca that we planted 3 weeks ago. And it looks like you could just plant the whole thing. I don't think it matters if you plant it one side up or one side down because they all rooted. So I'm just gonna stick that back in. Hopefully my little mamas won't destroy it. No, mamas, leave this alone. And that'll be fine. Here's another one. Let's see if it has anything. This one has some root evidence, but no little leaves popping up yet. Okay, I'm gonna put this one back in. No, mamas, please don't dig. We'll leave maybe some of it needs to be up to get the light. Here's the other yucca. Look at that little baby. You can see the little tiny baby leaves. Oh no, don't look at it. Anytime I pay attention to a plant, my chickens have to pay attention to it too. This is another yucca right here. This is one that was planted and it's, oh, I just pulled off the leaf and it's right down below. I don't want to dig too much and mess it up. That's not a yucca. So we've got the yuccas. We've got them in here and they are growing just fine. Now I'm going to go look at the ones down by the lakeside. Now that might not be as nice because here, of course, they're getting pooped on constantly. I didn't fertilize these yucca down there at all. Okay, so here is one planted in the ground. I don't see any evidence of life on it yet, but I have no doubt it will be just fine. Here's another one. No evidence of life. Now this is one I planted not too long ago. And you can see, I mean, the sticks are pretty happy. I did it just from these sticks. Here's the stick. So these that I planted not too long ago, they'll sprout out, especially now that we're back in the rainy season. Yeah, this will absolutely sprout out, but it might just take a little bit of time. Just looking to see if any of this is sprouting. Yeah, I don't see any of this sprouting yet. But I've learned on stuff like this, it just takes a little bit of time. Look at these yuccas. Little babies, little plants all over. Yay. Good job, little yuccas. So these guys are happy. Now they are closer to the water, as you can see. They're much closer to the water, so they probably are getting a little bit more water. But now we're in the rainy season again. It's just started raining. So because of that, I think my other ones will be fine. Those sticks last a good long time. You don't have to plant them right away. I planted them where they were like sat in the sun for a month and then planted them and they did just fine. Because it's like 80 or 90% humidity here, things don't dry out, and it's not like it was in the sun in Arizona or something like that. Anyway, that's my little yucca story, and I loved hanging out with my sister and Ebby doing that. It's nice when we get a project together. What I really love about this is my sister lives in North Carolina, does not have a growing season for a lot of this stuff. And these are things that they absolutely love to eat. And they only eat organic and gluten-free because they have celiac disease, so their guts are really messed up. So this is a great way that I can provide them a special treat, especially for my nieces who love any type of potato product. Oh my gosh, they're French fry eaters. So they love the squash, the Seminole pumpkins, They love all of that kind of stuff because it's just something that makes them feel like they're getting a carb, because they can't eat grains really that much. There's no grains that they can really eat. So it makes me happy. Oh, butterflies are back. Okay guys, well that is it. Thanks so much for coming on this journey, and I will talk to you later. Bye.